Tonight, Candace hates rational people.
And so when you speak to people that are super rational out of school, you're like, well, the evolutionary theory makes sense.
Steve can't find his testicles.
I know in my balls the Christianity is false.
And I've joined the conspiracy theorists.
Never believed in Australia.
Why, hello, my fellow apes.
And welcome back to LowFruit, where we're going to be recording this video for a second time because the first attempt, well, the audio wasn't up to our usual, LowFruit standards, which should probably tell you quite a bit
That's
about
how bad it was.
Shit
It was very bad. It was very, very bad. But that does mean that we have to listen to Candace Owens twice.
Yes.
And in my case, 3 times, because I've covered parts of this.
I was half asleep in the first recording. Now I'm awake and annoyed.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be hectic. Tell them what we got.
You just did. It's Candace Owens.
Oh, it's not just Candace Owens, though. It's worse. It's
worst
of the worst of her.
We will now learn about how dinosaurs are both fake and also homosexual.
Gay!
So this is a funny one. So this is one of the ones where I'm like, gut, I'm not kidding. This conversation happened and it was so funny. I was just walking with Savannah, my manager, because we do like these little evening walks, and
I'm already confused as to why that's even relevant to the story, really.
Oh, it's an evening walk, not a day walk.
Yeah. Does that change your opinion?
Of course it changes your opinion. Like, this is important context, okay? This is needed stuff.
Sure.
It's gonna, I reckon it gives a plus 6%.
Oh, of course, the day walks are when she has her conspiracies about the shape of the Earth.
Yes.
The evening walks is like conspiracies about whether dinosaurs exist.
Yeah, with further down the iceberg when it gets to the nighttime walks.
What are the morning walks about?
The morning walks are just like real chill stuff for her. So like Roswell had aliens. That's about the normal place. That's probably the beginning for her. Government has cure for cancer. Every Democrat she doesn't is a child.
Where the hobbits in Lord of the Rings, they have 8 meals a day. She has 8 conspiratorial walks a day.
Yes, she does.
And this is getting exercise.
And this is her evening one. Okay, this one is good. This is the doozy.
I just looked up to her and I was like, dinosaurs? That seems pretty fake and gay.
I forgot how good that is.
Yeah, it's just...
Fake and gay. Fake and gay, Reese. There's so much to be said there already. Okay, take it away. Nothing? Fine. Fake and gay, okay? There's a lot to be said. What's she trying to convey here? Okay, well, fake and gay is essentially, partly it's meme, but partly it's like, oh, look, I'm using, the terms that the cool kids use. That's gay. Get rid of that. Ugh. Boo. It's fake and gay. I don't like dinosaurs.
What does that tell you, though? Because gay was, the schoolyard insult 20 years ago.
Yes.
She's really not, grown or developed since then.
See, I think it's still in. Because I have a brother that's 15, and they're just as immature and stupid as we were. Right. But it's the choice language, is the way she's communicating. Candace is my age. She's your age.
Yeah. That tends to happen when we're the same age, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then, as you said, the language is screwed up. But, that's the least of your worries. Wait until you know
I stopped calling things I didn't like gay, quite a while ago.
Yeah, but when gay becomes something... When gay becomes the word, you use the word gay in her case in order to say that you think that it's not credible.
Yeah.
Do we just start using heterosexual? That's so hetero.
Well, hang on,
we want to start talking about what's true. It's
gay isn't real.
Yeah.
So they're fake and also not real.
Yes. Yeah. I also there is an element from her Christian perspective, her really messed up Christian perspective, which is that gay people actually are not actually gay. They're possessed by demons or something like that.
They just want to sin by getting a fucking rogering up the arse, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So really, what she's conveying is it's fake and fake.
Savannah's from Tennessee. She's like, I've never believed in dinosaurs.
Of course someone with that accent never believed in dinosaurs. No, I shouldn't say that.
No, but they're living up to the expectation there, aren't they? Oh my goodness.
That is the most stereotype sort of voice you could imagine for someone to say, I never believed in dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's really odd though, in a gloaty way, I never believed in the moon. What do you do with this? Well, in her case, you go, me either. I think we're switched on. I think we're switched on.
Never believed in light bulbs.
I've never believed in Australia.
No,
you
got
don't
to do it in
exist.
the voice.
Okay. Oh no, because
I've never believed in Australia.
That's not bad. You see, every American accent I do turns into one horrible Texas accent. It's not even Texan, right? It is just horrible. So I will do it later.
Savannah's from Tennessee. She's like, I've never believed in dinosaurs. Like literally, everyone thinks there's like some conspiracy behind it. I was like, that was how it started. And I was like, what on earth? You rawr.
What on
I forgot how much this video annoyed me.
What? Like, how is that a dismissal thing? Part of her incredulity is what? Rah, rah.
Oh, it can't be true because they went.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it roared like a lot of other creatures that we know. Like, oh my god, you're so right. Like, what are you thinking?
Is she getting a idea of what these animals were from Jurassic Park?
Is that why she's calling them gay?
Never mind.
I'm like, it's funny because people will literally say they don't believe in God, but then tell them like dinosaurs aren't real and they fall apart. Like I'm like, okay, so they're just roaming the planet.
Candace, that's not a double standard. We literally find the bones of dinosaurs. We find the fossilized footprints of if you can show me the fossilized footprint of God, then we might be getting somewhere.
Always coming for these people that have nothing like
this
that.
This is not a double standard.
Isn't that really annoying? On the one hand, they want to come up to you and go, evolution. No. Evolution, not enough evidence, don't like it, there's this little hole, and you go, evidence for God? And they're just like, oh, it's fine-tuning.
Which is an argument, not evidence, essentially.
If you was to watch a drop on the Kalam, then, you'd perfectly be able to tell that that's perfectly made for me.
I can't believe you're misrepresenting them here. They do have evidence.
In a heart?
Have you seen the trees?
I've seen the trees. It's very true. I have seen the trees. Now, her methodology, I love it. Imagine, you watch... It's going to be some Graham Hancock level archaeology where someone's walking around going, now these scientists, they believe that the ancient Egyptians existed. Like they were walking around and kind of thing. Like that's like they're walking around. Yes. Land animals seem to do that, Candace.
Yeah, that was the next thing you get to, wasn't it? It's like, they roamed the earth. What fucking humans do today.
Yeah.
Lots of animals do today.
Would she do this with the Romans? People
keep talking about the Romans, but they roamed the earth.
Yeah. It's if that's just they were running around going this is a dumb person. Nothing else to say.
These people are okay with saying that God doesn't exist, but as soon as you tell them that the Roman Empire doesn't exist, they lose their mind.
And I was like, that's really interesting. But then, because I got into and very much subscribe and believe and know to be true that there is a Christ conspiracy that's happening right now.
Well, she knows it to be true, and she's declared that was such a strong statement. If I know it's true, we do have to grant that completely.
Oh, I hate it.
Christ conspiracy. I
don't like the phrase "know it to be true."
Yeah.
When truth is already implied within the sort of framework of knowledge.
I know it to be known.
Yeah. But to say something. Something is to say that to not believe that position would be utterly absurd. Where's your evidence for this Christ conspiracy?
You know what it is, don't you?
Christian persecution complex?
No, Christianity is heterosexual.
Oh,
that is a really big piece of it. Second thing to be said about this is when it comes to her.
Oh my god! I hope she doesn't end up on that anti-Christian bias task force. Going into...
Oh my god, she might, because Trump is just trying to destroy everything.
Just going into museums and universities and then just getting rid of all the dinosaur stuff.
Yeah.
No, this didn't happen. That's not Christian.
She'd fit in though, because for some reason there is a disease among Christianity where they think they're always the victim. Where they think they're always being persecuted, even when they're dominant. And this is what's going on here. There's a Christ conspiracy. Everything that doesn't fit my barbaric view of the world. Ooh, it's really nasty. It's woke Christianity. What's going on?
It's funny because you already know, even when someone says Christ conspiracy, it's like, right, so what you're going to say is people are trying to get rid of God.
Yep.
And your evidence for that is we find out things about the world that are contradictory to the Bible.
And it really is. The people with a high IQ and who are educated.
It's not even about IQ, man.
No, dude, it is. Just... No, seriously, the people that have like high IQ and have an education statistically are much higher to reject the bullshit of religion.
Yeah, of course.
And so what happens is they go, they're part of the conspiracy. They're part of the enemy. They're like running around going, rah, with science and stuff. And meanwhile,
there is a Christ conspiracy that's happening right now, which is the intentional removal of Christ because they want people not to believe in God, but instead to believe in humans.
There it is, intentional removal. There's no such thing as a genuine atheist or a genuine non-Christian. They all intend to remove Christ.
I mean, that's stupid enough.
Yeah.
But stop believing in God and instead believe in humans. I mean, again, we can demonstrate that humans exist, so it's not quite the comparison she's looking for. But if you're sort of saying put faith in humans, we're shit. Look at how we're fucking up the planet like every day. Look at how terrible a job we're doing at electing our leaders.
Yep, that's the thing. Yep.
How can you say that we're putting our faith in humans or wanting to believe in humans when we can't stop screwing everything up?
It's very much
what generally saying when we're saying is like there's no God is stop relying on God to fix all our problems. We're gonna have to do it. God hasn't ever intervened. No, it doesn't matter what the Bible says, by the way. God hasn't ever actually intervened, and he certainly hasn't in the last 2,000 years. So, if we want something done, we have to do it ourselves.
Guys, you're going to have a word with Reese in the comments, okay? Because he doesn't seem to understand the way that this works, okay? What happens is people start believing in humans, and then they start questioning slavery, and they start questioning sexism. And then what they do is they fight for these rights and get them enshrined in our documents, in our values. And then the Christians get to come across and go, oh my gosh, like, that's all ours. Like, if you didn't have Judeo-Christian values, ooh, where would you be? Oh my God. You see, like...
We're looking at you, Michael Jones.
Oh God, don't start with Michael Jones. Oh God, please no. You're poisoning the well, Reese. You're poisoning the well.
They want people not to believe in God, but instead to believe in humans. Well, that is what evolutionary theory was about.
It's going to be one of those videos again where we have to pause her every like 2 to 3 seconds, isn't it? Because everything she says is wrong.
Evolution was all about getting people to deliberately get rid of God. Is that what she's saying?
That is what she's saying, which is precisely why Darwin went on his trip to discover the centers of creation.
Yeah, it's precisely why most Christians today accept evolution.
Well, that's different to saying that the theory is designed to replace God.
Yeah, but the thing is, all it does is it challenges the narrative of Genesis.
It's not designed to do that.
No.
It's designed as an explanation for why the diversity of life is what it is.
If you were designing like some kind of process to get rid of God, you could do a lot better than evolution.
Yeah, you could read the Bible. To say that a theory is designed to get rid of God is... I don't even know where to go with that. At no point when Darwin wrote, on the origin of species, did he write, I want God to have no part in this.
Nope.
And he said that God isn't necessary for it, because it's not. But he didn't say he was trying to get rid of God.
Honestly, these particular Christians are so small-minded, it frustrates me to no end, because you could totally say that, God doesn't have a part in it, and yet God has some part at the beginning or something like that. There are lots of processes that God puts in place, according to Christianity, where he doesn't pull all the strings all the time, such as with you and your free will, if you believe in free will, which most Christians do.
The thing is, I think the thing that particularly frustrates me on this point is when she's saying, there's this deliberate conspiracy to get rid of God. It's like, no, there is deliberate ignorance on your part to avoid learning anything.
There is really on hers, yeah.
You want to hold to your belief so bad that you go out of your way to not learn anything and then lie to people that the thing that you haven't learned anything about isn't true.
Well, it's just so sad that stupidity punishes people around you and not yourself.
Well, that is what evolutionary theory was about. Because rather than making human beings believe that they had a creator, there was no concept of a dinosaur until 1850. That's very recent, right? That's the first time they were like, we actually think that there were these reptiles that are roaming the planet. And then within that same decade, they were like, dinosaur bones.
I forgot how good that is.
Right.
That's amazing reasoning.
You're strong on that as well.
I I know. It's so wrong.
There was no concept of a dinosaur. Right, okay, so...
What did she think a dragon is?
So was it Richard Owens coined the term in about the 1840s?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we didn't have any examples of them before that, does it? Because they were documenting fossils and bones as early as the 1600s. Ow.
But, I mean, adding to this as well is like the idea that because it's new, this sum it up with it. It's like going, listen, we didn't have the internet until like the
1990s, yeah.
Like,
oh, it can't be real then.
Oh, what does that mean? No, there's no way people are this dumb, Reese.
There was no concept of a computer until someone invented it.
What do you do with it?
Because it's a funny thing, isn't it? It's
Can you imagine her back in like caveman times going, there was no will 200 years ago, and now there is. Like, ooh, isn't this scary? Ooh, what's going on?
I mean, the thing is fossils themselves are hard enough to find, and a lot of them have to be buried quite deep, or they're coming out of the side of cliff faces and things like that. So they're not often in easy to reach places either.
Nope.
So
Most people don't know what they're looking for
until people are trying to excavate an area or something quite often.
Yeah.
And then you've got on top of that, people didn't know what they were because they're not alive. And they haven't been alive for quite some time for anyone to make any sort of identification for them. When they were uncovering these bones in like the 1600s, they thought they were just giants.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was.
And there's not really a surprise because we did start digging up, like looking ironically for a global flood, primarily, by the way, in the West. But like most people live, like I'm going to make a bet for most of you, if you're an archaeologist, you don't count, all right, or a paleontologist. Or if you really like sandcastles. But most people live their whole life without digging 2 feet into the ground.
Let alone deeper.
Let alone in places which are difficult, very difficult to dig, but that's where you're going to find the good stuff. She just doesn't think. I'd love to experience being like that for a day. I really would.
You'd be the happiest man alive.
I'd be like a pig in shit, dude. I would.
And they started finding them everywhere. I'm like, okay, so nobody found this, and then like suddenly there's entire museums and...
No, as I've just said, they were finding these bones like 200 years earlier. She thinks someone just went one day, I assume Richard Owens one day just went, you know, it'd be interesting if there was such a thing as dinosaurs. Look at the bones!
Yeah.
That...
It wasn't that he went to a laboratory and looked at a load of them and he's like, there are a lot of bones that are in...
he coined the term. That doesn't mean other people weren't putting together the animals before that.
Yeah, no, we already had loads of them. Yeah, precisely. Like, I just can't express enough my incredulity at her incredulity.
In China, they have actually been caught manufacturing dinosaur bones many times over.
Yeah.
Probably for sale as replicas.
Let's see. Let's see.
Because there's quite a market for that for people who are like interested in it. I mean,
there might be a
one over there. That should be up on the wall there.
Give us some Archaeopteryx.
No, we can have that later.
All right. But how's it going to go with this? What'd she say? What was it?
You're gonna make me play it back.
No, don't play her anymore. Just remind me what it was.
I can't remember.
Oh, come on, hang on. It was someone. Yeah, I'm gonna make him play it again.
In China, they have actually been caught manufacturing dinosaur bones many times over.
New York, about 1840, I believe it was. Dude fakes biblical finds. He realizes that Darwin is like figuring out evolution, and there's this big burst of energy from evangelicals going, we got to dig up something that confirms Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
so what they do is they fake it. They just fake it with this fake thing. So you got the situation with obvious hoaxes. What does that prove, Candace? That all of the Bible's wrong. Like, even if there was... There have been fakeries with evolution because these were human beings competing to try and dominate.
There were also Christians trying to undermine it.
Christians trying to undermine it. And then there was also people like trying to become the person who discovers this missing link or this missing link.
And they might leap to conclusions that they shouldn't have.
No, some of them were full-on hoax, man. Like they were.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the one with the tooth.
Yes, that was just a mistake.
Who, by the way, wasn't like an expert at all. Leapt to a conclusion.
Exactly.
And then the journalists went away going, oh, this is cool, let's paint pictures of it.
Yeah.
And then, 50 years later, here we are with creationists going, oh, look at the hoax.
This
like,
is how the narratives work.
Hoax.
Yeah. This is exactly how their narratives work. They've been doing it with all sorts of things. Maya's done it recently, but that's another topic.
And it is the case that dinosaur bones, for whatever reason, are always just found by the paleontologists. Like, it's not like you and me walking outside. I'm like, hey, a dinosaur bone.
Right, one, no, that's not true. It's not true at the beginning. It's not true now. I come from the Isle of Wight. We find fossils just everywhere. They're all over the damn place, especially when you go to, like, Culver Cliff, right? Just walk down there. You'll walk down there a couple of times, you'll find something. We have a dinosaur museum there because of it, right? Mm-hmm. Two, the people that found them at the beginning, they weren't paleontologists.
Because the field didn't exist.
Because it didn't exist. These are just people that were like, this is really interesting. They looked it up. And then three, today, with some of the most greatest finds that we get, they're not from paleontologists.
Well, just like enthusiasts.
Yeah, they're just
enthusiasts. There's a case of, like, down by... might have been in Dover, but it's on one of the English cliffsides.
Recent, right?
Literally, they saw what to them looked like a bone sticking out of the cliffside.
Yeah.
So they set up climbing equipment to go and check it between, like, tides and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they had to try and get it out of there. They weren't paleontologists. They were just people interested.
Is that the guy we saw near Bodiam?
Honestly, I can't remember.
We visited a place. Was it near Corfu? We visited a place, and, like, this guy was just someone that finds fossils. That's what he does. Not a paleontologist, just straight up someone's enthusiast.
Who's found so many that he opened his own museum.
And he had incredible things there, exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing to be said is that what normally happens when a paleontologist publishes something, it's not the same thing as them discovering it. It could be like little Jack down the road went out with his sister and they found something and they end up reporting it and it gets back to the paleontologist and he goes out there and he gets it and he publishes it and his name gets on the paper. It doesn't mean he discovered it. But I feel like I'm explaining something that everyone knows anyway.
But let's go another step. So she is wrong, but let's go another step and say if she was right, let's look at it. The people looking for fossils find them.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh, the architects designing buildings present blueprints.
Yeah. It's like... What do you even do? Like, because you could do this with anything, couldn't you? You just...
All the people that, conduct operations in hospitals are doctors.
Oh, that's sus. Wow. That's sus. What's going on there? That's outrageous.
I know they're not a perfect analogy because there aren't people in the hospitals that are just operating willy-nilly. But it was just like, even if she was right, then that would be the analogy.
It's really, really, really strange.
It's baffling.
Yeah.
Wrong on all levels, Candace. Good job.
That dinosaur bones, for whatever reason, are always just found by the paleontologists. Like, it's not like you and me walking outside. I'm like, hey, a dinosaur bone. And, or by somebody who's related to a paleontologist. It's very strange.
She's suggesting nepotism here. It's like, oh, my cousin found it. Yeah, that's what it is. Just throws it in there. The host just goes, yeah.
I've got an idea for you. The people related to the paleontologist, is it like a son or a daughter that's just gone on a trip with their parent? That's
yeah. Also, if your mum was a paleontologist, you would know a lot more than the average person. So you would go out and go, that's cool.
I think that might be, yeah. Is this the level you have to get to create a conspiracy? That people are doing their jobs and sometimes their relatives might be interested in
This ain't no normal conspiracy, Reese. This is a Christ conspiracy.
I don't know for sure.
Oh, we know you don't know for sure.
Very humble of you, very humble of you. But you did say that you know it's true because it's true and it's true. I don't know for sure, but I do know that it's definitely true. That it's true.
So the thing she knows for sure is that there is a Christ conspiracy.
Yeah.
The thing she doesn't know for sure is that paleontologists are looking for fossils.
But you think the incentive structure there is to move away from God?
Well, they want you to believe that God isn't real, that like the theory of evolution, like you're an ape.
Well, so I want people not to believe in God because I think religious thinking like damages the way you approach things and it can get you to do absurd things.
Is that because you've seen quite a few of them defend genocide?
Yes, genocide, slavery, rape, yes, all of those.
Women being less than men, yeah.
But to say that they want you to think we're apes, it's like, no, we want you to acknowledge the definition of an ape, which, unfortunately for you, results in us being classified as apes. There's just no way around it. Everything that describes an ape describes us, because everything that describes a primate describes us. Everything that describes a mammal describes us. Everything that describes an animal describes us. You're just never going to get away from it.
But that would require understanding a little bit about taxonomy and
Yeah, like,
you know,
like this much.
yeah,
This much.
that's all you need. Yeah, I mean, for one as well. She said
A Trump's handful worth
a
of
Trump's
knowledge.
handful of knowledge. That's all you need. That's all you need. She says the theory of evolution is that we come from apes. No,
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
no, like that's really, really, really dumb. And then what was the other? There was another entailment here.
Wasn't it Carl Linnaeus who was, because evolution wasn't about yet, he was sort of a creationist.
Okay,
Didn't he have to categorize us with the other apes?
who?
Carl Linnaeus, the father of taxonomy.
I don't know. That's interesting.
You're not?
Yeah. So he.
What he didn't want to do
You've been
was...
watching Gutship Gibbon again.
Maybe.
Yep.
What he didn't want to do was lower us to the level of the other apes. So what he did instead was raise the other apes up
Fascinating.
to the same level as
Fascinating.
us.
Yeah. There's such a Christian message that you could get out of this as well. You could get a humbling message if you are part of the animal kingdom. So when
They don't
God
want
made
that.
you
We
the
have to be
shepherd,
super
I know
special.
we were super special, and we don't have a stupid laryngeal nerve going all the way up and
yeah.
down, like you know.
And
And we
it's-
don't have residual organs like Candace Owens.
And it's your great grandparents who fucked everything up.
Yeah.
And it's your fault for that.
Thanks, Obama.
Theory of evolution, like you're an ape. What happened was just over time, like you used to be a little chimpanzee.
2 seconds. She's saying we used to be chimpanzees.
Wrong.
Candace, evolution isn't like it is in Pokemon. We don't just, human.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Well, like you complete the battle for like trying to get the fossil, and then I'm now a human.
It's populations, Candace.
Sorry,
it's
so-
not
okay, okay,
individuals.
let's get it right.
It's populations.
We go chimp to human, but also somehow we come from an ape. We're both are apes. that's what we've got so far. She's so confused.
I'm getting a headache.
Yeah.
And I've seen this before.
But then with time, this is why you learned about theory of evolution, Homo sapien, Australopithecus. But then we were Homo erectus, and now you're a human being.
Homo sapien. The fuck is that? Homo.
That's Jesus, the Homo sapien.
The Homo sapien. Well played. So no, wait. She said we were Homo sapien. Then we were what? Australopithecus. Wrong way round, Candace. Right?
I'm less worried about that because
She's so
now I'm like,
confused. And yet we were also an ape, apparently, as well. But we're not anymore.
the problem is she's not actually understanding again how the categories work.
No.
We, as in humans, weren't ever Australopithecus because that's a different species.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. But even descended,
we may
ascended
have
from.
descended from either them or another similar species.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, but but the problem is she says that you're Homo sapien, and then Homo sapien you got Australopithecus. It's the
I
wrong
think
way
she's just
round.
listing things she's heard of.
Yeah,
before.
she is. That's why she says Homo sapien or whatever the hell she said. She doesn't know any of this stuff. I give her too much credit. If it's not clear, I don't really like Candace. She would suck everything good out of the world. I mean, the room.
Isn't that
And-
the definition of Satanism?
Don't you fucking start.
Oh,
Forgot
God.
about this guy.
Takes an idiot to talk to an idiot at this point, doesn't it? Jeez. So the definition of Satanism is that humans evolved.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Hail Satan, I guess.
Hail Satan, guys.
Isn't that
And-
the definition of Satanism?
Yeah.
Like to believe that like Earth is the kingdom?
Earth is the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Not heaven. It's the same nonsense of you're putting humans in front of the God they believe in, and that's bad because...
Well, but here's the
You
thing.
know.
Let's say, obviously, United Kingdom is a nation of people. If you then say that the Earth is like a larger nation that consists of all people, then you could frame it that way, I guess. I don't know why you would, but you could.
Yeah, I think all they're trying to point out here is that if you go away from God, you end up like putting up different things as idols.
Yeah,
such as
there's the kingdom of heaven, but you want
the kingdom of
earth
earth
to be
Oh,
ruled.
you're actually digging into the earth. See how deep that is, right? You know, literally how deep that was as well. Like, this guy.
Yes, and that is what these people were pushing. And so once you start to realize that Satanism is real, that these people who created everything that we view in Western society to be real.
I'm going to have to roll back to see this again because it just sounds like she just said Satanists are the ones that have decided everything that we perceive to be real in Western society.
Yeah.
And she can't have said that. That would be stupid.
Once you start to realize that Satanism is real, that these people who created everything that we view in Western society to be real.
So now it's at the point.
Wait a minute. Everything she said is stupid.
Yes. So now we're at the point that we have this situation where everyone that isn't a young Earth creationist is
A Satanist.
a Satanist. So they actually do believe in the metaphysical propositions of Christianity. So they're still like...
No, because there's a thing, isn't it? A lot of Satanism doesn't necessarily say they believe in God or Satan. It's just...
Yeah, but her definition of Satanism is going to be that you are actually worshipping the Satan that the Satanists don't actually believe in, right? She believes that they're actually enacting the will of an evil agent. The God could crush at 1 second, and doesn't.
Who has done less harm and
Done less harm, less
than
body
God.
count. Yeah.
In the Bible.
Yep. Tried to give us knowledge, you know, but she thinks that all of these people, this great cabal of individuals that are...
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, obviously, it was never the snake, or the serpent, was never labelled as Satan in the Adam and Eve story.
It wasn't. Yeah.
But Christians have reinterpreted that back onto it.
Yeah.
It told the truth while God lied.
Yep.
Evil!
This is why I find some of the Gnostic stuff so interesting, like where you can start delving into the idea of, multiple gods within a Christian framework, and like it's fascinating.
Which actually makes more sense of the Jewish religion.
Way more
yeah.
sense. Yes, it's really interesting.
I also think the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus like just gets annoyed with people and just starts killing them.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if he is God, then that is consistent with the God of the Bible. Yes,
It is amazing. It's like when you start looking at these other Christian frameworks, it's somehow the weirdest one has become like canon, and the one that's like least likely to be true in my opinion, because like even give me Mormonism. I know we give Mormonism a lot of shit, and they deserve it. But
we probably could do with more.
Yeah, we could do with more. But Mormonism, I think, has got a higher chance of being true than like the basic Christian. Oh, we'll have to get into this. This will be interesting. Very different.
It's Christianity plus.
It isn't, no. It's Christianity plus, but also take away.
These people who created everything that we view in Western society to be real believed in Satan, right? They know God's real.
See, they know God's real. They know it.
Candace,
They're just all evil in her head.
seriously, if people you think believe God is real, but they've decided to follow Satan, why would they do that when the punishment for doing so would be to burn for eternity?
Good question.
Why? No one would make that choice.
I've just realised something. Candace can be really quite nasty to people she disagrees with, right? Which is one of the reasons I give myself permission to be a bit more stinging towards her. What I've realised is that if she really believes what she's telling us she believes, then she thinks that people are evil. She actually, it's not like it really isn't just a matter of like this person's convinced of a different proposition. It really is, this person is evil and trying to make the world worse, trying to send me and my children to hell.
Yeah.
That is what allows her to justify.
Yeah. They're trying to hurt my children
wow.
through medical care. Yeah.
Wow, shocking. And then they're going to go and complain about atheists being angry.
They know God's real, and yet they're convincing everyone that God isn't. And so when you speak to people that are super rational out of school, you're like, well, the evolutionary theory makes sense. So it makes sense to you that you started as a chimpanzee. Like,
So now we started as a chimpanzee.
She says so much so quickly.
It's like
the people that come out of school come out believing in evolution. Because they're more educated than you. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
She even said, like, the smart kids.
Yeah.
The rational kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, isn't that great? The smart ones, God doesn't like them. That's why he allows them to get convinced of these other things.
The problem is she's saying this is true of all education levels.
Yeah.
Because the thing is coming out of school, you'll have been told what the current scientific understanding is, enough for you to get by. But when you go to the higher level, you're told how to investigate and learn why that it is true.
The thing is, you really do not need to know much about evolution to recognise, oh crap, that's true.
Oh no.
And I think that, because like all you needed to be taught in school, like the second you wrap your head around natural selection, especially if it's like contextualized with artificial selection with dogs or pigeons, like that, because it's so simple. It's so simple and it makes sense of all the data. Then you can do more research and spend more time and realize this thing has had incredible predictable powers, but you just don't need it. It really is like just a very small amount. Meanwhile, in school, we're being taught about like Einstein's relativity, not in depth, or like even Newton's laws of gravity. And these things are nowhere near as intuitive as just evolution like that.
When I was studying physics at college, because that was just a thing I was interested in.
Yeah.
Man, wrapping your head around like relativity and how like the speed of light fucks everything up.
It's so odd.
Like trying to account for time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird.
The one that really got me was being taught that each atom is predominantly made of nothing. Consequently, you, me, the camera, everyone watching, all 12 of you.
There's a lot of gaps in everything that you see.
Yeah, like almost all of it's... And like, sadly, you never touch.
Yeah.
Because you can't. It's empty space. Forever alone.
Oh, there's some fucking really cool shit in... You know, the whole thing about light being both particles and waves.
Yeah.
Like, trying to wrap your head around this shit as a kid is... Yeah. It's hard.
And then all the history, and basically you've got all of these papers in front of you, all of this wonderful knowledge, and she's just running around going, fake and gay, fake and gay, fake and gay,
here's the funny thing, isn't it? Is the study of evolution isn't just a biological thing. It's also a historical thing.
Yeah.
We can see it. We can track how creatures have changed over their generations.
Yeah. Fascinating.
It just...
Especially when you get into like whale evolution. That stuff's crazy cool.
How do we know that they were once land mammals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a faith, buddy. It makes sense to you. And if you say to them, like, of course you went to the moon.
It's every second, Reese. It's every second.
Science is faith.
It's just how Trump got elected. He just...
If you can't beat them with brains, baffle them with bullshit.
Yep.
That's a faith, buddy. It makes sense to you. And if you say to them, like, of course you went to the moon, then you start talking about basic science, but they don't actually know. They can't talk to you about Van Allen belt. They don't know anything.
Candace, you can't talk to them about basic science. You believe there's a firmament stopping the rockets from getting to the moon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. We're getting to that bit, ain't we?
How can she sit there and say... The people that believe in the moon landings can't talk about the science with you when she doesn't know the science? And second, you don't need to know the science to sort of learn that we probably went to the moon, just by the fact that the fucking Russians admitted it.
Yeah. Listen,
the
USA,
rival nation to the USA.
USA, you're now allies.
I know you're... Yeah,
yeah.
I know you're best friends. I know you
Yeah.
fucking traitor in the Oval Office is best friends with the fucking dictator across
Exactly.
But that... Oh, jeez. Once upon a time, there was a very strong rivalry between your nations.
Mm-hmm. No longer.
No longer.
Gone.
But there was. And at that time when the moon landings happened, the Russians said, yeah, okay, it's happened. Yeah. Why would they do that? Why? Why would there be a fucking space race at all if no one could get off the planet?
Oh, it's because they need to convince you that to get away from God is a big grand Christ conspiracy.
The Christian presidents, the Christian researchers,
they're all fake lizard people, Reese. They're in on it. Doesn't pay attention. Sorry.
They don't know anything. It's a faith. Like they have asserted, and what's interesting, even that, going to the moon, the Bible talks about a firmament.
There it is. There it is. To be fair, this is the one thing she's got right. The Bible does talk about the firmament.
Yeah, it does.
Which is one of many reasons we know why. Which is one of many reasons why we know it's wrong.
Well, yeah.
But that's a cool thing that I've been looking into more recently.
Yeah.
Is all the Christians saying, no, the Bible doesn't describe a flat Earth. It fucking does.
It certainly does a better job of explaining a flat Earth than a spherical one.
If you know what the view of the cosmology was in like the ancient Near East, and then you look at what the Bible says about how the Earth was created, it's describing the exact same cosmology.
Yeah. It's almost as if it was written by people that lived during that time and to the best of their knowledge.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is that also why they had slaves?
Is
that also why they had misogyny?
I've been looking into some of this stuff recently.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating. So one of the things with the biblical sort of explanation, in the beginning God created, right, by separating waters.
Yep.
So water already existed in some great ocean existed.
And do you know why that
He
makes
then
sense?
put a dome in between and pushed water up to create heaven, and then you got the land come out of the flat plane of water.
But like they don't like that interpretation. They want to say
That's what it
God
says!
created rather than, like created from taking that water and separating it. But the problem is it's exactly what Aristotle was talking about, right? Or was it Plato? Forget which one it was, but they're talking about like the fundamental axioms, if you will. And water is the fundamental arche.
A lot of ancient beliefs revolve around this sort of primeval waters.
Nyx had primeval waters. Like, it's exactly what the cultures at the time believed. Water is the life giver, which it kind of is. It's the second most...
Although like 90% of it on the planet will kill us because it's not drinkable.
Yeah. There's no contradiction there at all. It's the life giver, and it taketh away.
Much like how, we need the sun to live, but it'll also give us cancer.
Yes, that's true.
If the firmament in the Bible, if you look at that, you would go, okay, well, it says that as below, so above.
Yeah, so do you actually believe that there's water underneath us and water above us, Candace?
I reckon she does actually believe that we're all descended from Adam and Eve.
Are there windows in the firmament that God opens in order to let the rain through, Candace?
And that's what the stars are. You see the heavens in the sky.
See, this is the problem she's got here, is she's got the book. Right, this is true. That means anything anyone else tells me about reality is wrong.
You can see why religion's so powerful.
And this is why I was saying I don't like religion, because look at the damage it does to the way of thinking.
Yeah. And it's the other thing, is like, if you even try and get through to them, they go, you're trying to make the Earth the kingdom. Like, it's built in such a
if you try and convince
way.
them they're wrong on this fact, they will say, you're trying to take my religion away from me.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, we need a faith White House to be able to get rid of everyone else.
This is how God created it. So if the Bible is real, which I know in my heart to be true.
In your heart. In your heart.
I know in my heart. And
I don't know anything in my heart,
Reese,
because that's not where the thinking gets done. That's where the blood gets pumped.
Exactly. Maybe I can put it this way. I know in my balls the Christianity is false.
Are your balls up here?
They can be, but not right now.
If I was to give you a good kick,
A real big kick. Yeah, exactly.
There's no way we got past this firmament.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way that we got past.
Good game. Just wanted to say that I've really enjoyed being an atheist, but it is over. I guess atheism is fake.
I know it. I just know in here.
In your balls.
In here. In
your balls.
That we can't possibly get past the polished dome that's above the Earth. No?
But it's interesting because, once you start to realize that all of it is about countering everything that is in the Bible.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Candace, do you really think that every single person that makes a scientific discovery is trying to counter the Bible?
No. If it doesn't contradict the Bible, then it's actually real science to her. It's if it contradicts her very stupid, naive, literalist view, which is also really new in many areas as well, such as what she believes on abortion. Again, she's the poster child. It's just religion's really powerful. This is what Marx meant, by the way, when he said that you can control people with religion. He had like this dismissive view of religion, where he's like, religion is just used for power. This is exactly what you're seeing right here.
You've just killed all our channel.
Oh,
all the Christians are going to come and go, oh, there's fucking commie here, look.
Listen, I'm allowed to say that I like something about Karl Marx's thoughts without being a full-blown Christian. I can say
he says
Jesus,
one or two correct things. That's fine.
Yeah, I can say Jesus, in some depictions, was a relatively good guy. It's not like all the atheists are now going to be able to run around going, "Oh my God, he's a full-blown Christian. Oh no, what am I going to do?"
But it's interesting because, yeah, once you start to realize that all of it is about countering everything that is in the Bible, right? You have a creator. No. Evolutionary theory is real, actually. What happened was a meteor hit, and I don't know, like the meteor hit and wiped out the dinosaurs, but then like the lizards came. I don't even really, when you get down to even just thinking about that.
Right, you're talking about the KT extinction and the Chicxulub crater on the Yucatan Peninsula. That has nothing to do with evolutionary theory. It is an explanation for why the dinosaurs went extinct. Just because it's a correlatory bit of evidence isn't...
It's also the way that she's talking about like non-avian dinosaurs going extinct, and the way that she's doing it is her straw man of these really rational people that come out of school. They're all just like, so this happened and then maybe that happened. No, that's you, Candace. That's what you sound like when you're making stuff up.
It's not just the fucking dinosaurs, though, is it? It's 75% of every fucking creature on the planet went extinct.
Yeah. And we know that from the layers that.
Oh, don't get into that. Don't get into that. We'll see if she says anything on that, because I've forgotten.
It's amazing. If you was to dig and find anything that tries in the slightest confirming a Christian narrative, they're all like, archaeology, baby. Everything else, no, they're all
the funny thing,
Satanists.
I bet if someone told her they've discovered an alien spaceship, she'd believe it, despite thinking that there's nothing beyond the firmament of Earth.
She does strike me as a particularly flat Christian. Like, I don't know, man. I think her and Ben Shapiro would argue this one out. I think her and Matt Walsh would go crazy. There'll be a big fight again that will somehow end up with her being anti-Semitic again.
And I don't know, like the meteor hit and wiped out the dinosaurs, but then like the lizards came. I don't even really, when you get down to even just thinking about that, you're like, okay, so it wiped out the dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs came and then the lizards came. No.
The dinosaurs died and then the lizards like emerged.
No.
No.
I'm just gonna say no and move on.
Fair.
And I don't know, like the meteor hit and wiped out the dinosaurs, but then like the lizards came. I don't even really, when you get down to even just thinking about that, you're like, okay, so it wiped out the dinosaurs. And then what happened? They're like, well, then the amoeba was around, but then like little lizards are from that. I actually don't.
Right. She's almost trying to portray here a real shit version of abiogenesis as occurring after the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Do you need a greater indication if she doesn't know anything?
She's also just like strawmanning to such an insane degree. You know, this is exactly the kind of Christian that would be really upset if you was to go, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, it's not like that at all. It's like you believe in a father figure that's looking at you at all times.
That lives in the clouds.
That lives in the clouds if you do a literal interpretation, or even metaphorically. And they're like, no, don't be doing this. Meanwhile, they latch onto this kind of nonsense.
I mean,
I'm just a homo sapien, okay? I can't understand this. This is unbelievable.
I actually don't. I have a lot of questions. I wish I was in 6th grade again.
Oh, yeah, you probably should go back to 6th grade again and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Stay there, learn a few things, become one of the rational kids, leave.
I think 6th grade, I don't know what it is, but it sounds too advanced for her.
Go back to 5th grade, 4th, 3rd.
Do you actually, is 1st grade a thing? Start there, Candace.
Start
you
there.
We'll go right back to the beginning, because
What about kindergarten?
Is that 1st grade or is that different?
I don't even know. They make it up. They make it up because they're all part of a conspiracy that's trying to undermine atheism.
I have a lot of questions. I wish I was in 6th grade again, because they tell us all this stuff like dinosaurs are like when you're in 2nd grade, and guys are like, yeah, guys are the hardest about the dinosaur. They are dinosaur stands.
I love dinosaurs growing up.
I know. Boys love it. It's like a culture. So when I said this on my show, I was like, dinosaurs are freaking gay.
So before we get into her talking about how she mentioned it on her show, Yeah, dinosaurs are pretty cool. I'm certainly interested in learning more about them. Not as interested as I am in other things like physics and stuff, but hey-ho. I think the person who's most interested in dinosaurs in our friend group is Hannah.
Yep, my wife. All over it.
All over it.
All over it. I've just realised what she's doing here. Maybe I'm going a bit far out with this, but
I think she's denigrating women here, by the way, without realising
I
it.
think she's also denigrating men, right? So a lot of the people that watch her show, they will be like, feminism's awful, we need to protect men. And fair enough, there's an element of like, yeah, there needs to be more sympathy towards men. But here, what she's doing is dismissing men who are going, Candace, this is nuts. And she's going, oh, you're just men, you like dinosaurs. Like, the equivalent, if it was the other way around, most people seem to see an issue with it. It's like, you're a woman, you wouldn't understand. But here you've got like, oh, you're a man, you just like them. They go, rah. What? Like, what? What are we watching?
So when I said this on my show, I was like, dinosaurs are fake and gay. My producer, all the boys were like, no, you've taken it too far. I will quit this show.
They should have been saying that when you said the moon landings didn't happen, but the fact that they're still employed by you means they must be desperate for money.
She's kind of revealed something here, Reese. If her producers are going, no, you've taken it too far this time, that implies that they regularly think you're going quite far out with this, Candace. This one's quite far out. This time you've gone too far.
You might be losing it, Candace.
Yeah, like this really is Alex Jones level nonsense here.
And yet you're sticking around.
Yeah. It was really funny. I was like, oh, it's so sweet. You guys love your dinosaur still. And my son loves his dinosaur.
Oh, it's so sweet that you still believe in that stuff. But boys just be boys.
Infantilizing.
Oh, don't worry, my son also believes in dinosaurs. Again, do they like it? Do they accept it? When you start going,
different thing, isn't it?
You're a Christian. Don't worry, my son still believes in Christ, but he won't for a while. It's just so silly. Like, come on.
How stupid is my audience?
Oh,
while saying some of the dumbest shit that any people have ever heard.
All the people that work with me, who I wouldn't be able to do this job without them, my producers. Oh, they're so silly. They're so silly. I can't believe they believe in the moon.
But it is interesting that like they kind of drop it after second grade. Like they take you to the Natural History Museum and then there's no more talk about dinosaurs like later on in school.
Hence all the paleontologists.
Dude, there's also this element of like, oh, you'll grow out of it. You'll grow out of God, Candace. You will. You will grow out. I mean, most people grow out of it, but you just didn't.
And they understand that children's minds are malleable.
I'm not sure you get to talk about that, given that one of the whole things with how Christianity and religion in general works is get them while they're young.
Yeah.
Get them indoctrinated before the age of reason, and they'll believe it.
Yeah. No child left behind.
But when you get older, you might ask some questions. Like I would have a lot of questions now if I was sitting in second grade and they were like in a great big meteor hit and then all the dinosaurs went away. I would be like, oh.
That's great. Go back and ask them. Go back to your second grade teachers or find some current second grade teachers and ask them the questions. Because it sounds... Fucking hell, Candace, you have access to Google.
Just Google these fucking questions. I mean, like... Those rational kids that you talked about that left believing in evolution, they asked the questions. They said, how do we know about this? And then the teacher went, oh boy, I'm really excited to be able to share this. Here's how we know. Meanwhile, you're in the corner picking your nose again. You know, like, here's how we know. There's a sedimentary layer that shows that there was a blocking of the sun for a very long time. That's how we know. And it's, you know, here's the evidence that we see within the strata. Like,
the fact that a whole bunch of animals that appear in these levels never appear again after that layer.
Yeah.
Because they all died.
Right? Also, they would go, listen, we're not telling you we know it's the case. We're just saying it's the better theory of what we've got. Because that's what's always said that way as well. Yeah.
What's it? All theories are wrong, but some of them are useful.
Yeah. Like, you know, like they are...
It's essentially saying you can't... The highest step something can get to in science is a theory, because it is meant to be our most accurate model of something.
I will say this is more in application to historical events rather than actually to say like evolution
She's
or anything
talking
like
about
that.
history.
Yeah, that's more of a history thing. Like all understanding of history is an approximation.
Well, even that, yeah. I mean, unless we've got the records of the day, when we're looking at stuff in history, we think it happened between this period, because the archaeological evidence points to this sort of 100-year range.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and then when we're going obviously older, we're looking into things like radiometric dating, and they can have error margins in the thousands of years, but that doesn't really mean much when we're talking about the millions and billions.
And they were like, and a great big meteor hit, and then all the dinosaurs went away, I would be like, oh, okay, but then what happened? Then what happened? Then what happened?
And you would have got the answers.
And you would have got the answers. So the meteor hit. The dinosaurs didn't just die from a meteor strike, no. So I don't know where you're getting that from. Well, you're making it up. That's where you're getting it from. Massive, massive climate change. As you said, the sun was blocked out by the fucking dust clouds.
Yep.
Flooding. Oh, God. All sorts of catastrophic events, Candace.
And what does she mean, like, since then? How much of the 64 million years do you want? like, for real, like, how much do you want? What do you want to focus on? Because we do have... There's loads of places where we don't have much evidence. There's loads where we have loads.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sit down and have a full walkthrough of what happened in those millions of years, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that's the higher-ups' attempt to maybe get us used to the idea of a mass extinction event?
What?
What does that mean?
Do you think that's the higher-ups' way of getting us used to a mass extinction event? What? You think that they're trying to make us all okay with dying because the dinosaurs did?
Also, you already have that as a Christian, Noah's Ark.
That was just that.
Like, oh, God.
Do you think that's the higher-ups' attempt to maybe get us used to the idea of a mass extinction event?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. And it very much empowers the fear that people have in like climate change.
Oh, fuck's sake. Again, as I said earlier, it's not that we'd be okay with dying because the dinosaurs did, and therefore climate change. No. There are things that we can't fix and things that we can fix. Let's see if we can do something about the shit we can fix. Like CO2 levels.
So I'm just broke on this, dude. Like, it would be like you and I being taught about the Romans and about how, like, there was a fight with Vercingetorix, and, like, what Julius Caesar did was make it so that Vercingetorix and his people, they were just stuck and they couldn't eat and they ended up giving up. And it would be like her saying, or him saying, is this like the higher ups tried to condition us to starve? What? What are you smoking?
Very much empowers the fear that people have in like climate change. And, well, this could happen again, or if we don't get this right. And ultimately, what are they doing? Drawing you more towards the idea that a creator is not real, but ultimate governance is real. So you have to make sacrifices.
How the fuck does climate change have to do with saying a creator isn't real? Candace, what are you on about? The whole stuff with the whole climate emergency thing is saying, we're fucking up our planet, we need to do something. God doesn't appear to be stepping in. Does he?
That's her narrative, though. Her narrative is that the Earth is in homeostasis, and then what happens is, you know, the fact that it's not. It's more predicted on a naturalistic model, and that's taking you away from God. Never mind the fact that God gives you the land, and he tells you to be a shepherd and look after it, which could easily fit the climate change model.
Let's see if I can put this in a way that she might both understand and care.
You failed.
Okay? No. I think this would get her to care, at least. Maybe not understand, but care. All right? You don't like immigration, do you, Candace?
Doesn't.
Imagine if the world temperatures keep going up and we keep seeing rising sea levels, all the lowland countries, they're going to start seeing a massive reduction in their land area. Then you're going to have all the places that are already fucking burning hot. They're going to get hotter. They're going to lose access to their food that already struggles to grow in many areas. And all those people are going to flood away to the countries that aren't totally fucked, like the US. You're going to see a massive influx of climate refugees if we don't do something.
Big mistake. She won't see it, so she doesn't care, because it's not her that's going to suffer it. It's going to be her children's children.
No. God will save it before that happens.
Oh, yeah, it's true. And also, like, it's all made up anyway, because it's a firmament.
don't think about God being real. If you want to stay alive, what are you going to sacrifice to government? Okay, well, you can't use oil. I mean, you can't use gasoline and petrol.
That isn't sacrificing to government. That's changing what you use. That's saying, instead of going, oh, you know what, I'm going to get the coal fire going today, maybe I'll put on a jumper instead.
I'm honestly, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, and that's saying a lot. I have seen a lot of dumb things in my life, Reese.
Let's be honest, like...
She's not even paying us the
government
respect to make it coherent.
The governments and the corporations don't really care that much as long as they're still profiting. It's people that is going to have to drive the change for this. And one of the best means that we've got at the moment to do that is through capitalism. Which is why, like, Trump cancelling all the fucking climate research and clean energy research is baffling. Because advancements in those things will generate billions in profits.
Yep.
If you can come up with a clean energy solution, man, you're going to be rich.
You're going to have to drive electric cars, you know? Well, we've got to reduce the temperature by this and by that. And you see that is a religion. And these people will call themselves atheists. And I'm like, you guys have a deeper faith than anything I've ever known.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Saying that it might not be a good idea to drive petrol-thirsty cars anymore.
It's religion.
Is the same as saying you should go to church every Sunday.
No, it's the same as saying that a guy came down as himself, but also his son, and sacrificed himself, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're the same thing, Reese, so we're actually both about the same in terms of our ontology. It's why they keep equivocating with, that's a faith, buddy.
You're
That's
a
religion,
fucking
buddy.
clown, Candace. A big fucking red nose. Christ on a bike.
Yeah. I feel like you have hit where I hit when I have to listen to presuppositionalism or Michael Jones. And it's pretty devastating. And I do enjoy it.
That is more annoying to me than presup.
Yeah.
Because presup is at the stupid level of I believe because I believe, and you should believe because I believe, and I know that I'm right because I'm right.
Yeah.
Which is just tangled circular reasoning. What you had there with Candace was just straight up, I am the most ignorant person around and I like it this way, and I'm going to go out of my way to not change that.
No, she's not knowledgeable of that fact.
I can't stand people that are deliberately ignorant. I don't mind, fuck me, the number of things that I don't know about the world. I don't mind people not knowing something, but when you go out of your way to not learn or correct something, which you will have been corrected on thousands of times, that's fucking annoying.
The thing is, Candace Owens and Andrew Tate are the epitome of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
Like, they are just at the very top of thinking they know stuff. They think they're super smart people that are super switched on. And what they've done in our audience, in our land that we live in, is they have found people that treat them as if they actually are intelligent. If there is a God, we don't deserve saving.
On that sort of whole Dunning-Kruger thing, I do want it said here, most of what we've said is stuff that we will have looked up, and we're trying to recall it to the best of our knowledge. We're not going to tell you that everything we've said is 100% accurate to reality, because there's almost certainly a chance we've got shit wrong. But we've done our best.
And we've made references, and our stories are coherent.
They haven't
Very
done
high
that.
bar.
Not only would they never say something to that effect, they've never once even tried to look up what these things are. I don't know, man. That I don't want to touch Candace Owens again. That is awful.
So join us next week. We're going to look at Candace Owens while she
No!
has a conversation.
Bye!
Bye!